It would be tough to talk about online filmmaking and leave out Film Riot. The YouTube channel Film Riot pioneered tutorial-based content for young filmmakers. It provided all aspiring filmmakers a concrete guide of essential techniques, an entire film school lesson plan at the fingertips of those interested enough to simply click.
You get a chain of how it was made.
It would be dishonest to say that this entire internet generation of filmmakers were not at least indirectly educated by this man. What made the Film Riot crew especially engaging was that as they grew to become more experienced filmmakers, so did we. While no one on a film project is much without their crew, we're here today to talk about its captain, a man that decided to document his entire creative journey, Ryan Connolly.
Welcome to Film Riot, the show that takes mystery out of the effects and techniques going some of your favorite Hollywood films. I'm your host, Ryan Connolly.
After graduating from Full Sail University, Connolly began working for software companies like Dell and Alienware. There, he was granted an opportunity to work in an empty studio space where he allowed himself to experiment. This got the creative juices flowing. He was soon involved with a short documentary series called Making the Film, which helped him discover the structure for what eventually became Film Riot.
First mini-sode. That's right, mini. It's not the full ones yet, they're coming, but since we had such a great response from you guys, we were able to partner with some big companies, add some contests and some other really great stuff you're gonna love, like this, and turn it into this. That's how we roll.
Around that time, a multi-channel YouTube network called Revision 3 contacted Ryan Connolly to help him produce higher quality videos, where he'd cover the ins and outs of the filmmaking process. On May 27th, 2009, the first episode of Film Riot aired on its channel and Revision 3's own website. At its humble beginning, the Film Riot crew consisted of a small group of family and friends, like Ryan's younger brother Josh Connolly and his close friend Todd Bruno.
Money I put into you.
Together, they made weekly videos to keep their ongoing project sustainable. In this early era of YouTube, users didn't have many filmmaking tutorials to choose from, creating a demand that Film Riot itself could fill. This lack of competitors might have made it easier for them to stand out, but it was also harder to stay relevant. To do this, they chose to mix up their content by making skits, giveaways, and even short films, along with their tutorials that were produced and directed by Connolly himself. By building his viewership in engaging and entertaining ways, he made the process of learning fun and changed the methodical tutorial formula. But after all, that's what Film Riot was always about.
Police to the world! Want to be a filmmaker? Well, so do I. Let's figure it out. We're going to be following.
Most no-budget movies don't want you to know they are. As Ryan learned trick by trick how to make homegrown digital filmmaking look pro, his viewers learned with him, mistakes and all.
It's so cool!
No longer were modern filmmaking students going to misapply impossible and outdated industry standards. They were learning firsthand what works best along with Ryan's journey, taking them away from theory and pushing them more towards practice. The success of Ryan's now 11-year channel has of course rewarded the Film Riot team with professional grade tools to work with. Gone are the days of using PVC pipe for dolly shots. But now, scrolling through their video history gives new filmmakers an evolutionary lesson plan, scaled from humble to professional. This means that filmmakers of any level can take a page out of the Film Riot Encyclopedia Handbook. Ryan's transparent approach to teaching included the mistakes he and his team made along the way. This dissolved the intimidating grandiosity many exclusive art schools might coat their lessons with, and in turn, made his more welcoming.
Today we're taking a look at these baby tripods. So cute. I used to just get low angle shots by throwing my camera on a sandbag, but that doesn't give you the freedom of motion that you often need. These bad boys are very adjustable as well. You can get a little height going with the telescoping legs, lock that in with grip locks, or spread them all the way out to get the camera inches from the ground, which, I mean, while we're here, we could always just throw in a sexy version of Josh.
It's good to make mistakes, especially when learning a craft. It's perhaps where one learns most.
We were supposed to get a certain amount of funds in by a certain time, but a bunch of things went wrong. It was the whole Murphy's Law thing, just anything that could go wrong did go wrong. And as it does happen in indie film.
It is said that those who can't do, teach. Ryan has proven that pessimistic proverb wrong with a filmography that consists of 16 short films. Let's take a look at what he's done with what he's learned. Growing up, Ryan had the dream many young filmmakers do of creating their first feature film by age 18. Though he didn't achieve it, this minor cosmetic blemish did little to redirect his more important goal, mastering the craft itself.
The script is the most obvious part of making your plans. The blueprint.
In a short film format, Ryan has been able to focus what he's learned into a concentrated demonstration of his technical skills. But what kind of stories did he want to tell? And how? For one thing, Ryan's narrative style is very intricate. He believes that films need clear setups and payoffs, making the most out of every second of his work. Short films give his stories the freedom to stray from a traditional 3-act structure and focus more on moments within an established bigger picture. This process seems to let an idea develop a life of its own.
Saying that these are the methods that have been working for us. If thinking about structure doesn't help you, throw it out. If the idea of 6 acts sounds ridiculous to you, then ignore it. What I think is most valuable about getting other people's process is getting bits of ideas that might work for you and helping that to refine your own process. Or just not feeling alone because you're hearing other creators like yourself dealing with and navigating the same things you are. What matters is the destination, not how you get there. That is completely up to what works best for you. Find the process that helps you get writing and helps you continue writing.
It's like his B story is the focal point, and the A happens in the background. That mystery lets the audience's imagination amplify the natural limitations of a short, effectively giving it a larger-than-life feeling.
My favorite short films are short films about a moment that don't really answer this greater whole. Why is this happening? Where does this go after this? I don't think short films need to do that. I don't think that's what they're best at. There's definitely some that do, but some of my favorite of all time do not do that. All Nash Edgerton's short films, Dan Trachtenberg's Portal No Escape, which I think is a terrific short film, is more of a moment in time, but it's about so much more. And I've always been a fan of that sort of storytelling when it comes to short films.
His films aren't just guns galore and hyper-violence. In order to care about what's going on in his stories, Connolly likes to make his characters have a physical obstacle as well as psychological. This helps create a great vulnerability for the protagonist, which in turn makes their eventual success have more weight and payoff.
Wait here. If anybody else comes down those steps...
Dana!
No, I just have to get the key.
I'll come with you.
I'll be right back.
I love storytelling and giving that experience to an audience, and I love finding that sort of getting this big block of wood that is your idea and starting to chip away from that until you get this refined sculpture that is that story or experience that that you now want to give to your audience. And then it's just in your mind, and now you have to pull it out and you have to explain it to the people you're collaborating with to ultimately have on screen that thing that you whittled in your brain for other people to then experience the way you were hoping they would.
After a decade of experience and a large quantity of short films, why has Ryan Connolly not yet made a feature film? With so much going on in his life, being a father and loving husband, running 2 YouTube channels, podcasts, opening his own merchandise and asset store via Triune.com, directing and producing short films frequently, it is clear that he has a lot on his plate. Maybe making a feature film is not the ultimate goal. He has accomplished something vitally more important than just making a feature film. The thousands of young filmmakers and artists tuning into Film Riot is what really matters, creating an outlet that lays out a blueprint of the filmmaking world. He has cemented a legacy that has helped pave the way for many future filmmakers to follow. Making movies was such an unattainable dream for some, but thanks to Ryan and the Film Riot crew, new age filmmakers have an easier accessibility to dip their toes into the filmmaking world. Something 10 years ago sounded like an impossible dream. Just like any other filmmaker, problems can occur, but it's the way you adapt to the situation and try your best to make something good out of a bad predicament. This is what Film Riot is all about, creating regardless of limitation. It's what Ryan Connolly has worked so many years to prove with his tutorials and own short films. His career is summed up to one code of honor: practice what you preach. And when that day comes when a feature film directed by Ryan Connolly hits the silver screen, we will make sure to fill up the theaters. But for now, just remember to always write, shoot, edit, repeat.
On a daily basis, because I kind of live creatively by this idea that I say on the show all the time. If you go a single day without creating something, that is a wasted day. Whether it's like I wrote a line of dialogue, I came up with an idea, I'm working on an idea and I didn't write anything down, but I was thinking about it and I came up with it, fine. Whatever it is, as long as you created something that day as a creative, that was a successful day. The day that goes by that none of that happens, that's a wasted day, and that always, worries me.
So that's it, a profile about a filmmaker we truly respect. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe and follow our social media. Let us know if you want more of this kind of video and we will make sure to deliver. If you have a short film yourself that you want to upload, visit filmocracy.com, the hub for short independent films. Join our community. Join the film family. Links in the description for everything. Also, if you have any short films you would like to recommend, please let us know in the comment section below. We read everything you send. Thanks again, and always keep on creating. See you next time.
What is Filmocracy? Filmocracy is a streaming community where users earn cash and prizes for watching and rating movies. Pretty good, huh? Just go to filmocracy.com today and start watching independent films for free.